for 4, but we don't have to leave. So how many more can stay another 15 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great, because we have a really nice open mic. And so I really want to call on as many folks that I can, and I actually have a poem, so I think I'll share it. It's a really short one. I was actually one is a story, and the other one is a poem. So I'll do the story first. It's called A Particular Memory, and I don't know if you all know about the digital storytelling workshop that was here at the West Oakland Library, but it was really, really nice, and I had an opportunity to do a migration story. So this is the unabridged version of that text. I am a transplant from a country called New Orleans. We arrived in San Francisco on a Greyhound bus. Mother disheveled, brother crying, dad looking proud yet scared. Reunited for the first time in months. I couldn't recall this big man who hugged me like I was an anchor in a sea too shallow to hold us all. It would be a rocky journey. Our vessel full of holes only liquid paraffin could plug. Not necessarily seaworthy, we stayed aboard the plywood flotilla until it capsized one day. That day we stood up, grabbed our belongings, and decided to try living on land. At least it didn't move as much, or so we thought. Earthquakes followed us from Oak to Page, from Page to Brookdale, from Brookdale to Tioga, from Tioga to Grenada, from Grenada to Holloway, from Holloway to Mariposa. The fissures were deep, and each time the holes were a bit harder to climb out. There were no hands reaching into the chasm to grab our waving ones, nor any bodies lining the borders preventing our falls. We just adapted and got good at walking in our sleep. Scraped knees and hurt elbows, twisted ankles and dislocated tenure in a dream we'd applied for, yet were denied. A norm we grew to accept. If we were to make it, it would be on our own. No one cared. San Francisco transplants from a country called New Orleans. Our black lives definitely did not matter to anyone except us. I spent my time writing poetry, memorizing chapters from Message to the Black Man, and thinking about the fall of America, which couldn't happen too soon, if that would make my family safe. With my words, I fashioned a place where black men like my daddy could find vessels large enough to hold them and their families, spaces where they were able to stretch and grow and be free. The shackles that rattled, the ball he tripped over, and the dimly lit room he was assigned kept him trapped. Even though the doctors kept telling him, it's all in your mind. As the job application and rental agreements were shredded sheets we used to cover our shame each night. His blackness was a liability. Yet it was not just his blackness, it was his undeniable blackness coupled with an unshakable pride that populated a dirge the angels would sing when sober enough to lift their wings. It was an uneasy life for a black girl, the eldest of 2. I wish I'd been more like my little brother who fought all the time for justice, a justice too blinded by our blackness to ever weigh in positively for our dad, who never gave up, even when he could no longer see. Miss Justice's scales a bleak outline on the horizon, too distant to matter.
Yeah.
Thank you back to my daddy. And this one here is new, and I wrote it for my friends who went to Ghana with me last year and witnessed a lot of falls. It's called falling. She kept falling. She fell down steps, tripped on cracks and sidewalks, lost her balance, heel caught on tree roots protruding from raised curbs. She changed her shoe style, no clogs, closed toe, Mary Jane, low heels, lace high tops, and she kept falling. Her mind flew faster than her feet, she thought. So she tried to think less, or at least think while sitting, since thinking while walking was hazardous, yet she kept falling. She fell in her dreams too and then woke. She started carrying a flashlight when she fell into a hole twice. That helped. Her friends watched out for her announcing curves and cracks, taking her elbow when they noticed her animated inattention. She noticed accompaniment saved her often as she was guided past open sewers and other obstructions. Just today in San Francisco, she just missed an open hole in the middle of the street. New Montgomery, how dare they? Did she need a seeing eye dog with a leash? She was tired of getting up from the ground. The bruises were painful and took a while to mend. One time she was running across the street, the light was green, and bam, she hit the ground. It was as if she was making a supplication to God. Was gravity trying to tell her something? This was grave. If she fell any further, she might be rehearsing for a finale. So she did what she does when worried. She called up her fairy godmother, Yaya Tish. Okay, baby, here's what you need to do. She went to a cigar shop and bought some tobacco, then went to the smoke shop for some gin, grocery outlet for a coconut, 99-cent store for a saucer and candles, candy, and change. Dressed in white, she rang the doorbell and was told to shake the rattle and tell Aishu Labor what she wanted. Offered 3 pennies. Wasn't it obvious? Aishu was trying to get her attention. He had it. She wore white for almost 2 years, slowed down, paid attention, stopped traveling as much. Recently, she fell into a gutter. It was dark and the driver parked in the shadows. Some might say this time it wasn't her fault. The lesson, make sure there's ground below when traveling in Ghana before you alight. Don't trust the driver or you might fall in the ditch. Use a flashlight and look.